Color is your diet. I know it's backwards, but this one is at the library and it's called What Color is Your Diet? And I love it because it explains all the science behind the fruits and vegetables and what are phytonutrients and what are antioxidants and what exactly that means to add color to your diet. I also just recently started reading Good Clean Food. These are all at the library. And this one basically talks about GMOs and pesticides and what to look for, if you want to change up what you're eating and you want to get the best possible food into your body. And then I love Michael Pollan. So I started reading In Defense of Food. And I also have the DVD. They have the DVD at the library. So I'm like reading the book and I have the DVD to watch it whenever I get a chance. I really enjoy Michael Pollan's 7 words, which are eat food, which means eat food that's not processed, real food, not too much, and mostly plants. That's basically what this book is about. And then I found the one Kristen was reading at the library, so I thought it was cool, How Not to Die. And of course, on that one, I went straight into it and started reading How Not to Die from Diabetes because that is it runs in our family, and people say, oh, it's genetic, you're going to get diabetes because your grandma had it, your mom has it, and that's not true. And so I read that, and I found out there was a woman in there that she reversed her diabetes after being diabetic and on insulin for 20 years. She was able to reverse her diabetes, and the way she did it was she got on a plant-based diet, and she's living now without medication and reversed her diabetes, and she's got energy, and she teaches Zumba, and she is perfectly fine and healthy. But what I liked about the first book that I started reading is because it kind of gives you a lot of the science behind fruits and vegetables, because we all know, like Kristen says, they're good, but we don't really know, like, well, why are they good? And that's what I wanted to find out. Like, what exactly is it about fruits and vegetables that are so good that I should be eating, not only taking my Juice Plus, because that's my awesome foundation, but why should I eat any more of them? I know I should, but why? And so that's why I got that book, and I kind of read the preface, and then I checked it out. In the book, I like where the author of the book talks about how we like to say, or the American people like to say, well, I can eat whatever I want, and there's a medicine that'll cure me or maintain my disease after the damage has already been done, which a lot of people say that, like, well, if you're diabetic, you'll just get on insulin and you can still eat your bagels and you can still have your, pancakes, but is that really living a healthy life? No. And it also talks about in there, we think, well, I don't really snack, but a lot of people really do snack. And a lot of times the snacks that we're snacking on, they're like 300 calories, like chips, cookies, a handful of peanuts, things like that. And he talks about in there about we don't expend that much energy if we're just getting from the kitchen to the couch. So he's also talking about, if you're not exercising, do you really need to be eating all these calories and all this excess food? Whereas fruits and vegetables are full of fiber, good carbs, your body knows exactly what to do with them. And he talks about fruits and vegetables and how they're filling, they have fewer calories. You want the variety of color on your plate because of the phytonutrients, and the phytonutrients is what protects your DNA. And a lot of people say, well, I can't eat carbs. Well, fruits are carbs, and they do have sugars, but it's all natural sugar, and it's fiber, and all of it, your body knows exactly how to process it and what to do with it. When I added Juice Plus to my routine, it helped me to start my journey. And I like what he said in his book, you have to re-educate your taste buds. I really have seen that is a big difference. It's not like the first time that I've ever tried to change my diet, because diabetes, I had gestational diabetes with each pregnancy. And by my 3rd pregnancy, I was having to be on insulin shots. So I know what it is to have to take those shots. So now that I turned 40 and my doctor you know, did my blood work and said, hey, your A1C is at a 10, which is really not good. So you need to either figure it out or we're going to put you. And so that was really my kick in the butt to say, okay, what do I need to do? Because shame on me if I don't try something. Because I brought these 3 little ones into my life. I'm a stay-at-home mom and I homeschool my kids. And it's important that I be healthy and here for them, for their life. And so, you know, when I started Juice Plus, before that, I used to eat salads and I just hated it. I'd eat them because I knew I was supposed to be eating them, but I did not enjoy it. I kind of sat there with a frowny face and shoved it in my mouth to get my meal. But now, after being on Juice Plus, I've been on it. May will be a full year. I enjoy my salads. I was talking to my sister about eating more of a plant-based diet, so I mostly eat plants now. I've decided recently that I'm not going to eat any meat, but that's just on a personal choice for myself. So I still cook meat for my family, and the only difference now is that we use the meat as a as a flavor, and we weigh it because I got a scale, because all those years that I had gestational diabetes, I would weigh my food. So there's no reason why I can't be healthy and why I can't change and make healthy habits for my family. And reading these books has just really ingrained that in my head, that it is a choice to be healthy. You have to make the choice every day. But if I'm able to fight off the diseases of heart disease and cancer and diabetes and high cholesterol, why not? All it is fruits and vegetables. And, you know, in his book, he talks about if you eat a lot of fruits and vegetables, then you have a garden pharmacy. It's the best pharmacy that nature has to offer. It helps you protect your DNA, and it helps your body to prevent a number of common diseases that go along with our current diet and the way that we currently eat, which is really not full of any color whatsoever. So I really like his book. He also has, you know, different recipes. He has all the fruits categorized into the different colors of, you know, red, green, yellow, white, purple, orange. He has them all and says you need the variety. And so I love that when I take my Juice Plus, at least if I don't do anything else, I'm doing that much for my health. In his book, he also talked about a healthy living revolution. And it's funny because we talk about a healthy living revolution through Juice Plus, but in his book, he says a healthy living revolution starts with you and simple changes. And I thought that was so awesome, because that's what Juice Plus, that's what we talk about. It's simple changes, and you have to start one at a time. I didn't get where I'm at right now by making all these changes at once. I started with Juice Plus, then I started looking at what I was eating, and I started cutting things out that I knew that I shouldn't be eating. By the time I went back to my doctor and got my blood work, all my numbers, all of them, my cholesterol, my total cholesterol, my A1Cs, everything is normal. I went from a 10, and then I was at a 8. And then the last time that I went to my doctor, which I'm not on any medications anymore, my A1C was at a 5.7, which is normal. So I've lost 25 pounds since I've started my journey, and everything looks great. Even my cholesterol numbers came down. They were never, my doctor wasn't looking at my cholesterol as being an issue, but when I went back, she was like, even your cholesterol has come down like to absolutely normal. So I don't know, she said, I don't know what you're doing, but whatever you're doing, you keep doing it, and your blood work looks awesome. Like there's no reason for me to put you on any more medication. We'll see you in another 6 months just to check and make sure that everything's still going well. So I don't know. I've been reading the book about how not to die, and it talks about in there, you don't really cure diabetes, but you can reverse it. And so at this point, that's what I tell people, is that I've been able to reverse diabetes for myself. And then this is what I this is what I'm doing. You know, for people in my family or people that know me, my close friends are kind of like, well, what are you doing? So that's what I tell them. And that's basically on that book. On the How Not to Die book, I really like it because it's easy to read and very much to the point. So I enjoy reading the science. I enjoy reading the studies, and the author gives really clear examples of each chronic disease and what you want to look at and what are the normal markers. And I like that because sometimes you don't know, like, where am I supposed to be? Where's my cholesterol supposed to be? Where's my sugars, my A1C? What is that? And so he talks about all of that in the book, and I like that. And I like that he talks about, instead of trying to, like, let's say someone has high cholesterol, instead of trying to prevent them from having a heart attack, why don't we start educating people on healthy lifestyle and nutrition so that they don't get high cholesterol in the first place? And so I like what he's talking about in that chapter also. I really liked reading the preface about his grandmother who had who had been sent home and said, sorry, we can't help you, you have heart disease. You're 65 and there's nothing we can do for you anymore. And she went on a plant-based diet and she enjoyed life for another 31 years and saw him graduate from medical school, which is where he was inspired to go into medical school. But then nutrition always has been in his mind about how that plays a really big impact on our overall health. And so I like that. And it just goes to show it's never too late to get started. And diabetes is not genetic. Even though my grandma told me, well, you know, you're going to get it because it runs in your family. But it's not. I mean, it's totally reversible. It's totally doable. It's not easy, but it's a choice. And it's a choice that I make now every single day. What am I putting in my body? Is it good for me? Is it going to hurt me? I'm not going back. It's like I tell my sister and my mom and my dad, I've already taken my health back and I'm not looking backwards. I'm not going to go back to my old ways of eating. I'm not going to go back to not being active. I exercise now at least at the very minimum 3 days a week. I take my kids for bike rides, and they also talk about exercise in the books. So, you know, usually after your dinner, you want to try to get at least 30 minutes in of some type of walk, biking, swimming, whatever it is that you enjoy. Something, get it in there right after you've had your dinner. About an hour later, your body's ready for some activity. And so we've started doing that in our household. I've started educating my kids, talking to them about what's healthy. I like Michael Pollan's book because in the Defense of Food, he talks about his main 3 things, which are those 7 words I told you about. He breaks it up into his book. What does it mean to eat food? Well, real food versus processed food. My kids are now looking at the back of labels and reading. If they can't read it, then we probably shouldn't be putting it in our body. And he talks about that in his book. You know, you want to look at all your ingredients that are on labels and stay away from food-like products. I like what he says. There's so many things out there that, you know, they're advertised in commercials and, oh, look at this. And it's not really food. It does nothing for your body. It's not nutritious. And he calls them food-like products. And I like that. He also talks about not too much. What does that mean to not eat too much? And how to eat. There's a whole chapter on that. In How to Eat, he also talks about, if you can, you should plant a garden. And I like that because we have our tower garden and we love watching it grow. The kids can't wait to get it started again. I haven't started my tower garden because we're going to be leaving on vacation and then we're going to be going again in May. And so I'll probably start it once we get back. But the first time that we did it, they enjoyed clipping it. We were able to grow cauliflower and broccoli and cilantro and arugula, which nobody ate. It was just too bitter. We were able to also have snap peas on there, and what else? I think that's it. So they really enjoyed watching it from the seedlings, and then we planted into the tower garden, and then they were able to clip off, their vegetables. So they like that. He also talks about eating mostly plants, but especially he talks about eating the leaves, the green plants. They're full of antioxidants. They help eliminate different kinds of toxins. When you eat those vegetables, they really help your liver to detoxify and get those chemicals and toxins that we put in our body on a daily basis to get them out. And I know because my kids didn't eat any green. They had no problem eating fruits. Well, now Joliana, my little 3-year-old, she loves broccoli and carrots, and she'll eat spinach. My kids love spinach salad, the boys, with I'll dice up some apples and some carrots, and they'll eat it that way. And so I'm slowly but surely, they're getting around to eating more vegetables. So I'm really proud of that. And I think them being on Juice Plus is also helping to educate and change their taste buds also. And then the last one where he also talks about if you, he talks about in his book that if you pay more for food, chances are you're getting more quality and you'll eat less. So I like that because that's true. I've started buying now the 100% grass-fed beef, and yes, it is more expensive, but I know that there's no antibiotics in it. I know that the meat comes from animals that are being fed grass and not corn that's filled with GMOs. And so slowly but surely, I'm getting a huge education about food because I'm 40 years old and it took me this long to start learning these things. And slowly but surely, I'm starting to understand where our food sources are coming from and how industrialized everything is and how important fruits and vegetables, adding them into our diet, into our daily routine. And I don't like to say diet because people have a negative connotation when people say, oh, you're on a diet. Well, not on a diet. I just choose to put the good things into my body at this point. And my husband is eating more salads, and he listens to me read in the car. If I'm reading from my book, what are you reading? What is it saying? So I like that, and he supports me 100%. And so far, all the changes that I've made, I have lots of energy. Like I said, we homeschool, so I have my kids with me all the time, and we're always running around, and they're getting a huge education. And I'm so happy that they are learning about Juice Plus. They're learning about fruits and vegetables. All of this they're learning at a very young age, because I also explained to them that at some point they will not be here with me, and at that point it'll be their choice, because ultimately your health is your choice. You have to do it for yourself. It's just like my mom says, if you don't do it for yourself, nobody's going to do it for you, which is so true. And so I'm still reading a lot of these books because they're super long. I've gone into them and kind of picked out what I really wanted to read right away. On How Not to Die, I'm dissecting through Dr. Greger's 12. He has He has 12 things that you should put into your daily routine of eating and what to eat, basically. And it's called Dr. Greger's Daily Dozen. So I'm going through that. So he's not just focusing on fruits and vegetables. Of course, that's in there, but he's also talking about beans and berries and other vegetables and flaxseed and other things that you can put into your body that's going to help your overall nutrition. So I think that's it. I think I've talked enough. All of these books, I found them at the library. So it was nice to see. And they've got some other books that I still want to check out also. So check out the library. They've got lots of good books there.
Wow, girl. Wow. That was amazing. I agree with your sister. We are going to be waiting for your book to come out. I felt like I was getting this awesome lecture. You are such a great speaker. Like, such a great speaker. I'm like, whew, blown away. That was amazing information. And you are just such like a testimony, like you're a product of the product. This is what we want to happen to people who start Juice Plus. They start it, it's the catalyst, and then it just kind of snowballs from there. And I love your story. You have an amazing, powerful testimony. And girl, you just need to be shouting that from the rooftops and finding anybody who is willing to listen to you. Some people are going to do this because they don't want to hear it. They don't want to make the changes. They don't want to put the effort into it. But there's so many people out there that need this hope that your story can provide for them, and that Juice Plus is just that catalyst for everybody, because it is, like you said, one simple change and super easy. And I love that everything you're saying is what we're taught at conference. It just, you start reading these books and it just goes hand in hand with everything that we're taught with our Juice Plus mission. It's not that we're trying to do something new. It's age old fruits and vegetables. It's just eating more plants. Thank you so much for sharing that. Thank you so much for sharing that. We only have a couple minutes left. Actually, is Dana still on? I wanted to introduce you guys to Dana. I don't know if she's still on. I don't see her anymore. I think she might have hopped off. Dana, if you're here.
She's not on.
Show yourself. Okay. Okay. Well then real quick, just how does that translate? Like Madi, not everybody's going to want to get in depth as Madi does, or as Madi has, or me. I just am fascinated with it. But how does that translate to now what? You're learning all of this stuff. You have this Juice Plus product. Now, how do you share that with people? So Virginia, boom. How do you take this product and how do you share it with people? How do you talk to people about it?
So naturally, when you talk to people, they end up telling you, oh, my kids are sick, or, oh, I've been bothered with joint pain, or this, that, and the other. So I don't always search for that because, sometimes I feel like that's fake and whatever, but sometimes it naturally just comes up. And specifically in my life with my kids getting sick recently, being able to heal my daughter from pneumonia with no antibiotics truly was amazing. And I know it's because of the power of fruits and vegetables. And because I had a doctor who was willing to let me try it, that was also a huge plus. And so it took a good 7 days of her not doing anything, literally, me putting garlic on her feet and onions on her feet and all these other things. But having that confidence in knowing what we have as a product, you can't not share. It's naturally going to come out, and don't be ashamed of it. Today, actually, it was kind of like one of those things. I was talking to a lady and I almost didn't say Juice Plus, but it came out and I was like, and we have this great product that I take and it's fruits and vegetables and it's called Juice Plus, and that's what's helped our family. And sometimes I even like cringe when I say it because I'm like, how are they going to react? Do they think I'm going to sell something to them? This, that, and the other. But really being unashamed about that and just truly always having that potential of, okay, I have a list of people who I want on my team, people who either scare me, but I think would be awesome. Those are ones your chicken list or whatever you want to call it. And people who you just love their personality and their spirit and their heart. So creating that list and always have that list ongoing, update it, whatever you need to do. And at times it'll come across that you'll be able to talk to them. Sometimes it might not. Hey, you might go to lunch. Don't always intentionally set up, I'm doing Juice Plus all the time, because you have to be you too. And I think that's where I've made a few mistakes along my journey. But at the same time, that's how we grow. That's how we learn. Reading books, getting outside our comfort zones, taking those steps and just doing it. Because of my daughter getting sick, I was able to give the information to the doctor. She actually was like, you better give him that stuff, Mom, about Juice Plus, because he was going to want it. And she's my kid that has been very reluctant all along. And I said to her, see, I'm not the crazy one. There's doctors out there that believe what I believe. And so it was just quite hilarious, but he got the information and I get to go see him on Thursday again for a physical for her. And hopefully he'll have done, looked into it or whatever, but I don't know, pray for me. That's a huge step. He's a major in the Air Force and I am a mom. So on a mission though, that's right. Yep. So, and always remembering that people, this is so cheap. This is cheap. That's a bad word. I don't like that. This is so affordable. $50 freaking. My one friend who signed up for the skincare $600 and something. She told me today, she looked at me, she goes, I returned it. I can't do it. I don't believe in it. And she's one that I had asked her on my team, and she didn't realize what I was asking, I guess, because we talked about it later. So she's got to love the product first too. And it's really finding something that is yours. And we have all found it. We're here, right? But others haven't. And so allowing them to love it, giving them that good customer experience, that's where you're going to get team along the way too. So yeah.
Awesome. Awesome, Virginia. That was great. You got some energy for being 9 o'clock at night or 9:30 or whatever time it is.
Yeah, it's a little late.
That's awesome. Well, Paige, you have anything you want to say? Okay. Virginia, that was awesome. Mari, thank you so much for sharing. We had quite a few awesome promotions on our Greater Shooting Stars team. So Tara, who hit QNMD, and Kristen Nolan, who hit National Marketing Director, are going to be talking on the Greater Shooting Stars call. So if you want to hop on that right after this, to be inspired. I'm sure you will be inspired. So great job, everyone. You're all doing a fabulous job. I'm so excited you guys hopped on. Have a great week. We leave for conference this Friday. Conference for us, we will not have a call next Tuesday. I will be at Disneyland. So we won't have a call next Tuesday. But that following Tuesday, make sure you get your team on, because we're going to have, I'm sure, all sorts of awesome, exciting news, because we're going to be learning all sorts of stuff at conference next weekend. Okay, so no call on the 18th, but we will have a call on the 25th. Okay? Bye, you guys.
Faye, look. That's just a little bit.